What's up, everybody? I'm Aaron.
I'm Taylor.
And this is Voice of Thermopolis podcast. Welcome, everyone.
Hello.
What do we got going on today, Taylor? This week? What's going on this week? What's the chamber breaking it down for us?
So this week we have, today, Monday the 12th, just double checking, we have jiu-jitsu, and that starts for kids at 5:30 to 6:30, and the adults, and the adults are 5:30 to 7 is what it says. It could be wrong. It's what the chamber reads. But that's going to be every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Right on. It's Monday. Good morning, Monday.
Yep. And then again, we have the Hot Springs County Recreation Board meeting.
Yeah, that's important. That's important.
Yep.
Those meetings and stuff, that's stuff that's going on in your community, that's making decisions for your community. So, dip into that. Check it out. See what's going on. Yep. You're allowed to sit in on these meetings.
Absolutely. And then we have Master Gardeners meeting tomorrow, Tuesday the 13th at 5 at the library.
Master Gardeners, right on.
Yeah. Hot Springs County Senior Awards Night is tomorrow, starting at 6.
Oh, yeah? The Senior Awards?
Yeah.
Right on. If you got a kid going, getting awards there, congrats
at the auditorium,
on that. Maybe one day I'll see my kiddo there.
And then, let's see here. And then Wednesday the 14th, if you got any small kiddos, you've got the Rhyme Time Playtime starting at 10 a.m.
Oh, that's cool.
Children's Resource Center.
Well, how old the kids got to be for that?
It does not say.
Doesn't say.
Oh, birth to 5 community playgroup. Sorry.
All right.
I apologize. I missed that.
Birth to 5. All right. So get the little toddlers in there. Some books and playtime. That'd be fun.
Shriners of Thermopolis is setting up on Wednesday the 14th. From
Shriners?
Shriners, yeah.
Thank you. Shout out.
6:30 to 8:30. At the lodge. Oh, hey, so this is going to be cool. The middle school wax museum's Thursday the 15th.
This Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday the 15th.
My kid hasn't said a darn thing about that. I wonder if he's even participating. They got 2 kiddos up in the middle school.
It doesn't say a time, so if you guys are curious about that, you might have to go to the school's website or call them up.
Reach out to the school.
Yeah.
I went last year, and it was really cool. Did you happen to go to any of those?
No. I honestly, I didn't even... I don't know anything about them until pictures post up on Facebook.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Cool. But also, let's see, I think... So I've got 2 cousins that are still in middle school. One's about to be a freshman. The other one's going into, I want to say, 6th grade? 7th grade, maybe? I could be wrong. I don't know. I suck as a cousin. But, yeah. So I don't know if they're doing the wax or if they did the wax. I don't know what grade that is.
Oh.
I see pictures and I'm like, hey, that's pretty neat.
Yeah. So it's not like actual wax, right?
Well, I'm aware of that.
I want to just preface in case anyone. Yeah. So they choose a monumental figure in history, and then they have to stand there as if they're a wax statue.
Right.
And then if you tip them, then they do their speech, and so you can keep putting in.
Nice.
Tips into the jar and have them restart every time you go to do it.
So do you think you could just be one of those buttheads that just puts $1 in, and then as soon as they start going, they put $1 in?
Yeah, you wait till they get to
on this day. On this day.
4 scoring. Yeah.
Turn it into a terrible rap song.
And they do it to each other too, so it's a lot of fun.
Oh, that's
but
funny.
I just want to point out that is such a cool thing that you don't think of that would be like a really good first date idea. Because it's open to the public. Yeah. It's really interesting with the work that everyone's put in. Like there was a whole Nikola Tesla setup with a little I don't remember what the device is called, but it was showing like the Tesla coil in a sense. And so that was all set up. And so there's just really cool, interesting things, and you can just spend a little time walking with somebody and chatting, and then learning about history, or whatever.
Right.
There's sports figures, there's political figures, there's people's rights figures, things like that.
Yeah. Actually, one of my cousins a couple years ago went as Wyatt Earp. And
there it is. See.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty neat. And my aunt shares a lot of her memories through Facebook.
Yeah.
And so that popped up from a couple years ago, and I was like, hell yeah, that's pretty cool.
It can get a little crowded in the hallways and stuff,
sure.
but
that middle school's not as big. As you
yeah,
think it is,
and they line up in the hallways and stuff,
Yeah.
so you don't like have to like go all into the different classrooms to find them. So they're in the hallway where the lockers are and stuff like that. It makes it really cool. It's really fun. I think it would be like a great date idea for somebody, or you just go to yourself because you're curious and you just want to like do something different, get out of the house.
Right.
You're supposedly at Thermopolis has nothing to do, right? Well, I mean, a Thursday at what time?
Oh, hold on, sorry, I'm on
Is
the
that 5
wrong
or
thing.
6?
Give me a second, let me go find it.
It's in the pod. You can see. You can go back by 2 minutes and she
It doesn't say.
Oh.
Remember, because I also said you have to. We're doing great.
It
That's
doesn't
great.
say the pod. You can't go
It
back.
is Monday. Leave
But-
us alone.
Don't leave us alone. We want to be here. We want you here. What are you doing?
Okay, don't judge me. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So then also Thursday night. So I imagine the Wax Museum will probably be pretty early in the day because Thursday night, starting at 7 p.m., is the middle school band concert.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the other day, and just hear me out, that we don't see enough like plays, like Broadway show. Like we don't see enough of that coming around. If like every month the high school the drama club put on some sort of like show, then we would be able to like every month have something to look forward to. We'd be like, whoa, this is cool. Like, and maybe it's a different show every month, or maybe for the sake of it being a lot of production that they have to put in by hand, maybe it's like, you know, every other month, every 60 days there's a new show or something like that.
Right.
So they can redo a show, you know, say, what are we in, March? So they can redo a show. They do a show in May. Monday. We're all feeling it today. So in May, you do give me a name. A High School Musical. All right, so you do High School Musical in May, and then you do it in June. But then you're already in halfway production for the July, which is going to be a new one, right? But like, do it something like that to where you do 2 shows. You do a weekend at the end of the month, and then a weekend at the end of the month, and those can be. Sure, it could be the same show, and that'd be kind of fun to see it again if it was really good, right? Which of course it's going to be. Our kids knock it out the park every time.
I think it would be kind of hard to do it every month, a different show, because there's so much that goes into a show. So, you know, just a really quick shout out to the High School Drama Club. I unfortunately didn't see it because I wasn't aware of it, but I guess just recently, within the last few weeks or so, they put on a play, and I heard it was awesome. They did really good. And so, yeah, shout out to them. But there's so much that goes into it that I think trying to create a new show every month, every 2 months, would be really hard to do that. Including putting on a show every month, you know?
Yeah, because then you still have to remember all your stuff, but you're also in the middle of learning some other stuff.
Right.
That could be a challenge, yeah.
Right.
We'd have to have a huge school probably to knock that out, to be able to crank out production like that. So, all right, I get it. Maybe you have a couple shows a year. I think that's what they do, right?
Something like that.
But
also, you guys, hey, less than a week and our seniors are graduating, man.
no way.
Yeah, Sunday the 18th.
This month?
Yeah. It's
Crap.
May, not March.
No way.
Yeah,
Oh man, I'm not ready for the kids to be out of school.
same.
Yeah, I don't have any seniors, but that means middle school and
I have,
high school is coming out.
I know a couple of kids graduating. There's one particularly that I am really excited to watch walk. I've known her since she was knee high. I mean, I remember the little baby blue glasses on her eyes. Like, I'm so excited. So shout out to you, Wakes.
Shout out to every senior.
Yeah.
Every senior. You guys did it. You made it through the 12 years of doom. Or
now
maybe it was really
to become an adult. Good luck.
Yeah, now it's the real class.
Yeah.
You're gonna wish that you were still in high school. Like give it 2 years from now.
I just
you're
don't.
gonna be like,
I don't want to be in high school again. That was not a great time for me. But I don't want responsibilities anymore.
Did you ever get to that point where it's like you leave high school and you're like, man, things were just kind of easier then. Like I had a schedule, I knew what I was doing, I didn't have to worry about bills. Like so, you kind of like almost reminisced high school. And then as you got older, you end up like going, oh man, that was a bunch of baloney. I don't really want to be in high school anymore because they're annoying me. I'm too old for that bah humbug.
Right. So I always went into it as kind of like, if I ever say that I peaked in high school, then I didn't live my life correctly.
Fair.
And I mean, no offense to anybody that, did good in school or whatever. I mean, I wasn't one of those people, and unfortunately, I didn't graduate high school. I do have my GED though, but I just kind of was not a great kid, and was getting into a little bit of trouble, and just wanted to do my own thing. And
are you one of those that like the teachers were like, oh, thank goodness she's out of here?
Probably. I know there's a couple of teachers that were like, you're being stupid, but I support you, and they have still supported me now, and I'm almost 30 years old, so I love them dearly. But yeah, no, I've always been the type that if I say that I ever peaked in high school, I have not lived my life fully.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a sentiment. Like, I don't think everyone starts off that way, but eventually you're like, yeah, man, if that was the best the best part of my life, then
I failed.
I'm doing something wrong right now.
Right. Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm still not exactly where I want to be in life, and that's okay. People start super late. I mean, J.K. Rowling wrote some of my favorite books, and she was denied by like 20-some publishers, I think, before somebody was like, deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
when you got nothing going on, you have everything. You don't have nothing to lose either.
Exactly.
Right? So like, you can take all the biggest shots you can, and maybe it'll hit.
Exactly.
That's cool.
So, yeah, it's
we're over here today at Audra's Copper Coup.
Yeah, we're outside this time.
Shout out.
Hey, what's up, girl?
Hey,
Oh,
some sweet
this
tea for
woman,
ya.
What are we
this
drinking
woman
today?
brought me. Oh, I know exactly what it is.
What are we drinking
ma'am.
today?
Thank
That's
you.
that's a traditional sweet tea with Darjeeling leaves.
Yep.
Oh, these sweet teas.
So
Oh
it's
my
just
goodness.
refreshing since you're outside.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Oh my god, I'm addicted to these teas.
If you guys haven't been here yet, you have to get over here. Like, just have her whip up something. It's gonna be magical.
We're doing an interview with Audra tomorrow. I'm so excited for that. She's
Shout out.
huge shout out. She has been a huge blessing.
She just brought us tea.
I
She just
know.
brought us tea. We didn't even ask. She was like, you know what?
Freaking masterful, man. Freaking masterful, that woman.
Yeah. So that's tomorrow. We're gonna be talking about Discovery Days.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Chase Rise.
Chase Rise concert.
Yeah,
You got tickets?
I got tickets. So I got 8 tickets so far.
I'm telling you right now, buy your tickets now.
Yeah.
Buy your tickets as soon as you can afford them, as soon as you can. Don't sleep on this. Don't think you're gonna be able to like volunteer and get in for free and all that stuff. That's not how this is gonna be playing.
No.
It's gonna be up at the airport, the old airport.
Technically, sorry, don't mean to correct you. Technically, it's going to be at the golf course.
Yeah, on the golf course.
Yeah, but the old airport is parking, actually.
Yep, they got approved for parking and all that. We'll go over a lot
Yeah,
of that tomorrow.
I was just going to say, we'll discuss all this tomorrow.
And I'll let her be able to
Yeah.
go out. But it's going to be really cool. They have the whole setup. We're going to have the first ever...
I'm so sorry.
Maybe I even shouldn't say it. I shouldn't say it.
Yeah, don't say it.
I won't say it.
Don't say
it's
it.
first ever in Wyoming.
Just don't ever say it.
All right.
But
Tomorrow.
I
yeah.
will say...
They'll hit that tomorrow.
You can get your tickets on... There's an app that you can download called Tixar. You can go through the Gaslight Social website and find it. You can also go into Audra's Copper Coup or the Chamber, and they'll actually be a little bit cheaper buying them in person than on the app. The app for me, I think I spent about $49, which wasn't that big of a deal for me. And Audra's and the Chamber, you can
Subtle
buy-
flex. $45 just wasn't a big deal. I'll just throw that out.
Wasn't trying to be like that.
I don't
I'm
pay
so
you that
sorry.
kind of money.
No,
I know I
no,
don't pay
you
you
don't.
tickets to concert money.
No, he sure don't. That's why I'm going to this one though, because it's cheap. No, but Audra's and the Chamber, they're $40, and you don't have to spend the extra money for tax, anything like that. So, yeah, guys.
Yeah, come down, get them here, Audra's, and then you grab out something to drink before
And try
you
some
go.
of her tea, bro.
And she makes a butter beer.
Oh, I'm a huge.
So it's gonna be fun. We're gonna have to like maybe coming up. We're gonna have to dress up in like Harry Potter getup and then come down here and drink butter beers and have a whole thing.
September 1st. We
September
have to
1st.
do that. Yeah, you back to Hogwarts, September 1st.
All right.
That's
All right.
National
Put it
Harry
in the
Potter
book.
Day.
Put it in the books, and
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
try to make it a thing. And all the listeners, we'll keep pushing this stone along in there.
Yeah.
So then once it comes time, September 1st, we're gonna have a big Hogwarts party here. I'm down with that. I'm down with that.
yeah.
Themed parties are my jam. I love it.
He loves them.
I got some friends over in Riverton, and they throw the best themed parties. They've done ball gowns, they've done clowns, and we're talking like in the middle of like January, we did clowns,
Heck
all
yeah.
kinds of really cool stuff. We did this. It's kind of like cosplay, but not as like It's like a really subtle cosplay. I don't remember what it's called, but you choose a character. So I was Genie from Aladdin.
Right.
So you choose, and this was Disney characters, so I had to be Disney characters for this one. So you choose a character. I chose Genie, and then I dressed up in like attire that referenced the character, but I wasn't the character. I wasn't like painted blue, right? But I had a nice light blue shirt on. I had golden bracelets on. I had a red belt to go with the sash that he has, and then the pants. Like I was done up, and I even did the whole like eyeliner thing, you know, to give myself a little bit.
Fancy.
Yeah, you know, your guy commits.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun, and we did this whole themed party, and everyone showed up, and then we played Dungeons and Dragons, and the whole session was we were different Disney princesses in this whole like setup. So fun. I'm super nerdy. I can't say we, but like
He is.
she's a different kind of nerd.
Yeah, I'm more of like, I love to watch, you know, Harry Potter, the Avengers, DC characters kind of nerd, where he's the, no, give me the magic cards and the Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah.
I'm the, how do I explain this? No, it would be nerds. It's just two different levels of nerds. I was going to say geek, but geek to me is like when you're really smart in school, and I was not one of those.
That's all I had going on. Right? I was not athletic, to be nice to myself. I was not athletic, but I was a smart individual.
Yeah.
So
I went to the figure 8 racing Saturday.
That was Saturday. If you didn't go, you missed out. You totally missed out. I wasn't even there. I had to work, and that's fine. I heard more about it. Yeah, she's going to give you the whole lowdown. I heard more about it from everyone and telling me what was going on, and I was like, man, I missed like the event of the year. And this starts off the year. Figure 8 racing. How did it go? Did you get to hook up with Braden Harvey and talk to him a bit?
It was awesome. I didn't get a chance to hook up with Braden, which was okay. I actually had a friend who raced it. He came up. Whoa. Yeah, they came up from like Glen Rock, that area, and they came up and raced, and he did awesome. Like his first time ever racing. And he
What's
raced,
his first name?
Ron.
Ron, shout out.
And
man.
he raced 3 times. The first time he got 3rd, 2nd, and then 4th.
All right.
So not bad for his first time. And
first time, and he's doing
first time
that?
racing.
Man,
yeah, first time
that
racing.
Felt good. Was that 4th in the championship heat? Is that how that worked out?
I think it was like the semifinals or something like that. So not quite to the finals, but you know, not bad for his first time ever racing. Like yeah, it was a great time. I had so much fun.
Do we know who won?
I don't recall who it was. There was so much going on.
Yeah, the fans.
Yeah.
The fans won.
Yeah.
Because the show.
The fans.
The show. It didn't matter who at the last car. What mattered was watching the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
I heard cars were rolling over.
Yeah,
throwing dirt on people.
Yeah. So, in the very first heat, I got up because I was like, man, I'm thirsty. And I ran into my friend's daughter, and she calls me. She's like, what's up, best friend? I was like, best friend, you're already in line. Like, I'll give you $1, give me a soda. And so I'm standing there, you know, I'm hearing the cars, and then I hear, oh! And I was like, what did I miss? Like, I was so sad. I missed the first rollover. Really bummed about that.
But there were several more to come.
Several more. So, my cousin, Casey, was there, and his soon-to-be wife, and he goes, Casey's like, man, I want there to be more rollovers. And almost as soon as he said that, 3 more. I was like, oh my God.
Oh no.
I was like, Casey, it's your fault. But shout out to them. Shout out to Casey and Liz. Liz recorded every race. So I got to get with her and get some videos and see if I can put them up on the page. They had a drone. Braden, shout out to you, buddy. Sent me a couple of videos.
That's going to be cool. I bet you're going to be able to find that on their website or the YouTube. Oh, yeah. You're going to find that, and it's going to be really cool to watch.
Yeah, I'll talk to Braden, too, and see if we can't post it up on our Facebook page.
At least a link to it in the Voice of the Mop page.
Yeah.
I sent that out. Yeah.
But, yeah, it was crazy. It was so much fun. I had a blast. One car flipped twice. He rolled twice in the same race.
Whoa. Oh man, he just had
driver's okay. Driver's okay. Just want everybody to know that anybody that flipped, they're okay as far as I know.
There was one. Skip.
Yeah. So Braden said actually it was just whiplash, but ambulance did show up. I think he might have went to the hospital, but he said it was just whiplash. And
was that because of one of the rollovers, or was this another hit?
I'm not sure.
All right.
Because the driver was already outside of the arena, wasn't even in. So I don't know if it was after the race had ended, and the driver's like, something's going on. You know, I'm not 100% there.
I heard it was whiplash, but he didn't leave in the ambulance or anything like that. So the guy ended up being fine. But there was a scare that they wanted to make sure.
Right.
And it was a passenger, right? Because this time they allowed what they call it, the crazy best friend. So they allowed passengers in the vehicles,
which was insane.
So of course it was like way more going on. I think that adds the stakes a little higher, a lot more action going on. So I'm excited to see what some of this footage is. Missing out on it, like I can at least live vicariously through what I hear. So.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun.
How was the food? A lot of food there?
Yeah, there was some food there. So Shorty's was there. Ken Ivy with his "We Got Your 6 portions."
We got your 6.
Some of the best mac and cheese I've ever had in my life.
Shout out.
Yeah. Let's see. Harvey's Shaved Ice was there, which they're also really good. So if you haven't tried them yet either.
Oh yeah. That's local. That's so local.
That is insanely
so
local.
Good.
And shout out to Wakely and Miley, who was running it and just working their tails off. Like they started there at 3 o'clock and essentially wasn't done till about 10 o'clock. Like, Wakely's like, I barely had time to leave to go to the bathroom, man. I'm like, it was crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah, she was so busy.
Showed up.
Shout out to them.
Good.
We had the Wing It truck there.
Right on.
And then we had another one that was like Eat All Day or whatever. We had the smash burgers from them.
Oh yeah.
That's so good. Those smash burgers are bomb. And then there was one more, but I didn't really go check out who that was. They were like on the further end of where I was sitting.
Sure.
And so, but yeah, we had
a lot of food showed up. A lot of people. There was a lot of people. The stands were looking pretty full.
Yeah, there was a ton of people, and then so everybody left after the final race. But they shouldn't have, because then they had 6 cars from pit crew members.
The pit crew race.
Yeah, the pit crew race, and that was entertaining. That was so good. Man, so like how the stands were 3/4 of the way empty, and we're just like, we ain't leave it until this is done. Until we know for sure this is done, we ain't leave.
Right, yeah, and respect them, you know, like they all put in the work, and then they get their chance to actually drive the car, and like, you know, give them a little bit of respect, and we'll give them some love. And check out a really cool heat, because you know they're in it. They know what's going on.
Right.
They know what to do. They have their valve stems covered. That was probably the most impressive.
I really would hope so.
Yeah.
I didn't see any like tires. Well, okay, that's not true. There was tires that were flying off, and the
valve stem protector's gonna help with that.
No, I mean the way they were driving, they were coming around because they had like cement barriers in place in the middle, and. Honestly, the most entertaining part of it was, so you got the 2 cement barriers. They start here on this side, they come up, and of course do the figure 8. You know?
Okay.
So when you have a driver coming around this side and a driver coming around this side, and they both have to speed up to try and miss each other.
Yeah.
And there's so many like near misses on that. It's insane. It's so insane. And there was, I think, 1 or 2 cars that actually like smoked each other.
Wow.
There was this car that I kind of went for because red's my favorite color, but he's also like Lightning McQueen.
Let's go.
And then this black car had this like vendetta against each other. Those black cars sped up, hit Lightning McQueen hard. His tire bent. His fender was done. Like hit him hard, and we were like,
good.
Ooh. So Lightning McQueen sat there for a minute, finally got his car going, and came back and smoked the black car, and we're like, he's being petty.
Everyone's like,
and I'm kind of here for it, like, petty. But
that's cool.
Yeah, it was
good weekend then.
So much fun. Yeah, absolutely.
You also went to the movie.
I did. Thunderbolts.
No spoilers. No spoilers. But what would you? 1 out of 5. 5 being a great movie, just have to watch.
So, okay, I'm just gonna explain this. Is like if you go into it expecting like the original Avengers, then you're gonna be disappointed.
Sure.
You have to go into it with an open mind.
It's more like satire, right?
Ish. It's more like
Temu Avengers.
Listen, don't disrespect Yelena like that. First off, she deserves more credit. Yelena is a babe. I'm sorry. But so it's just kind of like a second generational thing, but I think a lot of people were just expecting it to live up to, Tony Stark and all that other stuff. They were expecting like original Avengers, and the only original Avenger is the Winter Soldier, and he's not even an original Avenger.
Right.
So, but David Harbour's in there. He plays the Red Guardian. He's funny, but yeah, just don't go into it expecting that it's going to be like Endgame.
Is it kid appropriate?
Yeah.
Alright, so I could bring my.
Yeah, it's just like any other Marvel movie, realistically.
Does it get spooky? Like, have like dark themes at all, or like big scary monsters or anything like that?
Not really.
Yeah. Okay.
Not really.
What about the jokes and stuff like that? Is there some like innuendos and things like that I should be hesitant about?
It's no different than realistically any other Marvel movie, so I think you'd be alright.
Alright, I'll just make sure.
Unless it's Deadpool.
There's
Deadpool,
people that maybe can be sensitive with their kids and they don't want them like hear any raunchy jokes and things.
I'm not that I can remember off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's probably some sort of satire. But it's no different than It's no different than Shrek. Shrek has so many.
It does.
So,
but it maintained pretty much a kid positivity the whole time.
Yeah. So I don't really think.
Good. So there's an app out there. I don't remember the app, so I'm not gonna like chat it out. But there is an app that like you can actually pull up information about movies and it lets you know like, well, this is how many like kissing scenes there are. This is how many like jokes that could be borderline anything. It's really like it keeps it really PG, so you can know exactly how many borderline swear words there are and things that are maybe even nuanced that they try to pick up on because they just want to be like extra sensitive. So there is apps out there for people if you're really like worried about like what your kid's watching and stuff like that kind of break down things like that. So if you're interested, that's something to maybe look into. But otherwise, sounds like a good movie then.
Yeah, it was a great movie. A coworker, actually, him and I were talking about it last night. And he said he liked it. So.
I'm gonna have to see it tonight. I'm gonna take the family.
Yeah, you're gonna have to let me know what you think because I really enjoyed it. There's 2 post-credit scenes, so you have to stay for the credits.
I saw that the theater was actually open Mondays now because it wasn't previously, but starting I think it was this week. They're going to be open on Mondays for a showing, so there we go.
That's cool.
I got to look at the times. I could be wrong. Maybe I couldn't even take the kids.
No, I think Monday is right, else. But I'll look it up.
Hopefully it's a 7 o'clock showing.
I think.
I was going to hit the 7 o'clock yesterday, and I did.
Bad.
It was Mother's Day. Shout out to all the mothers. Shout out,
happy Mother's Day.
You guys do probably too much.
Way too much, man.
But maybe it's enough. Maybe it's enough for your household and what you have going on and how it
Monday
functions.
Monday 7 p.m. Sorry,
7 p.m. Monday.
7 p.m. Monday.
So yeah, shout out, wifey, love you.
Yeah, shout out to your moms. My mom went with me to go see the Thermopolis movie.
You took her for that?
Yeah, because I was like, do you want to just watch a movie at home or do you want to go see this with me? Because like we're both into Marvel. She kind of is what got me into Marvel, realistically. Because the first Marvel movie I remember seeing was the 2003 Hulk, the Eric Bana Hulk. Mm-hmm. I'm also not a fan of Hulk entirely. I think the movies have kind of just not done him that great. But
yeah, it kind of seemed like the Hulk in all the newer movies is kind of like almost gimmicky.
Right. Yeah.
When he's like kind of a big player.
Yeah, he's huge.
Like, but have you heard about Tony Stark? And I'm like, but have you heard about Bruce Banner? Like,
right. Okay. And I'm sorry, don't even. I want Tony Stark. Don't come for me. But Tony Stark is just the DC Bruce Wayne. He's a Marvel Bruce Wayne. Like that's all he is. He's a playboy, billionaire, philanthropist. Like so is Bruce Wayne.
So is Bruce.
He's just a little darker about it,
Yeah, it's totally underrated how much that the Hulk actually contributes to. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it actually contributes to like the mythos and like everything that's going on. It's not just Tony Stark's money being thrown at it and he's some big brain.
No, I mean
Bruce Banner's been there throughout all
look
of
at
this.
Hawkeye and Black Widow. Like they seem like such small characters because they don't have superpowers, but they do so much. I mean, Tony Stark doesn't really have a superpower either. He just has an iron suit. Well, it's not even made out of iron.
Come on. I mean, it's kind of like a superpower, right?
It's a magnet that holds a shard. And after the second or third Iron Man, he has a surgery, gets it removed, so it doesn't even count at that point. Yeah. After the first Avengers movie, he gets it removed.
Right, he's able to get it removed by getting all the pieces that are like gonna kill him if they get too close or something to his heart. Anyways,
moving on. Sorry, we got a little.
No, it's cool. It's cool. That's what we're talking about. Things that are going on. Man, my week. Let's see here. What do I got going on this week? Do you have anything cool going on this week? I feel like I had something going on like Thursday.
I think Thursday I might make a trip to Casper, but that's really about it. I'm not 100%.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Casper's got a lot of stuff.
Day trip out of it.
Yeah.
But
I gotta make the week good. I don't know how I'm gonna make the week good. I'm gonna make the week good for me. Today's nice. Day off. Be able to do the podcast.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go see the kids' practices and stuff. I think I might have a game. That'd be cool. So I got a kid in baseball. I got a kid in soccer. So shout out Brian at the rec district. Hooking us all up, being able to facilitate that stuff. Baseball's been going off without a hitch. We had a little bit rocky weather to start, but man, yeah, baseball's in the swing of things, and my son is more geared to do it than anything else. He's such a go-getter with this stuff, so he's going to be tearing it up today. And then I went to see the movie, and then I got work. What else we got? I don't have anything. Like, nothing cool going on this week that I have planned right now that I can think of. If I had my phone and I wasn't using it for the recording, I could, like, look at my calendar and actually have something cool. I always forget stuff. I almost forgot today. Jasmine's not here today, unfortunately. Yeah, she forgot. And we're like, well, like, show must go on. Like, the people need an episode. No. So we'll get her caught up on the next one, or maybe she can be able to do the interview tomorrow with us. I'll shout out to her and see what's going on. But she has like several other jobs. She's planning her wedding, so she's got more than enough on her plate. The kiddo, I mean, she's a mom. So Mother's Day, she probably partied really hard on Mother's Day, right? And then she's just like,
or just relaxed. That's what I would have done. Just been relaxed.
I made sure the wife, she was just comfort. She was taken care of, and she didn't have to do any of the decision making unless it was something that she wanted to do. Then she made the decision to do that.
Right.
It took a lot of that pressure off. Made the food. Made pulled pork, barbecue pulled pork. The weather's getting good, so picked some of those up and we grilled those. That was delicious. We have Audra tomorrow. We're going to be recording tomorrow. When we publish the episode, it might be a little different. We'll see. And
we'll try to get it out to you guys as fast as we can.
Yeah, my new system of being able to of turning an episode around is actually really quick now. I have a different editing software. I have the audio going straight into the video feed, so that way you have the quality audio through the microphones actually going through the camera. And so that makes it so I have one track to edit, so instead of trying to line up the audio and video as two separate tracks and then pair them together, which is kind of a mess because you got to lip sync everything. But typically the program I had used previously lines that up for me, so it works out really good. But now I'm using a different video editing software, and I don't have to worry about that. So I can do it pretty quick. And the upload speeds. It took me like 20 hours to upload the video file to the cloud server of the application I was using. And that was before I had edited and cut and added things in and then posted it, re-uploaded it, the right version. So I had to export, which I had to download that file. Then I had to upload that file to like YouTube and Spotify. And those took their own, like, several hours. The upload speeds were so bad. But now I can do it on my main computer. Makes it a lot easier. I know I'm kind of just rambling about how I do this stuff, but I'm sure someone out there's kind of like, oh, it doesn't take a lot. If you want to set up a podcast, hit me up. Shoot me a message on Messenger, Facebook, and I can help you put things together, tell you what I've learned. It's really interesting. I just started off by like, we're just going to do audio, and I use my phone. And that's why the first episode is kind of bad. But I just use my phone. I use a voice recorder app. I put it in interview mode. Don't do that. That's what gave me the weird audio issue. But I just hit record, and we got an episode in. And then now every episode has been learning a lot more. And so it's really cool, how smooth things are getting.
Right.
And I wanted to hammer it down to where we could get an episode hammered out in a pretty decent amount of times, because I plan on us producing, 2, 3, 4 episodes a week. But I can't wait 20 plus hours to just publish an episode, 28 hours to publish an episode. So getting all this stuff figured out was what was like a big key. And we're not done yet. We got cameras. Hopefully we can get some fun. Maybe I should do like a GoFundMe or something like that. I don't know if people would be interested in trying to help, but get some, or maybe some people have some old GoPros or something sitting around.
If you guys are watching on YouTube and you guys are curious, or not curious, but interested in possibly helping out, just leave a comment in YouTube on the video, and maybe then we can go from there and setting up a GoFundMe or something like that.
Sure, yeah, any type of feedback. If I love the people, everyone, shout out, thank you, bless you for liking the post and everything that we put out for each episode.
And those of you guys that are listening and complimented, me this weekend, like, appreciate you.
Yeah, everyone's coming up and saying hi and enjoying this stuff. So
I mean, and they're not talking like directly about me. They're just like, man, you and Aaron, like, you guys are good. You guys are great. We love what you're doing. Like, so Kamisha Larson, shout out to her. She had sent me a Snapchat and was like, hey, I was creating this buckle, go vote for me for Montana Silversmith. So I was like, I got you. Maybe now you can, help me with this, help our page out, go follow. And she's like, I'm already liked it. Like, I'm like, sweet.
Oh.
Cool. Friends of mine in Sheridan actually are, I was looking at who liked the Facebook page, and so I messaged my friend. I was like, hey, I saw that you liked this. And she's like, yeah, and I got my mom in on it too. And I'm like, you don't live in Sheridan. Heck yeah. Like, cool. You don't even know what's going on, but appreciate it.
Shout out to everyone interacting with us in the pod and sharing your ideas. Shout out Michaela. You know who you are. You helped us out with a misinformation that we accidentally put out on the episode. We made a correction in the post, but it was regarding the 8th Street and Shoshone project that's going on over there and their affiliations with the Wind River whitewater rafting. And so that information is actually it's a little muddy, and I didn't get like a press release information from them. So the information I got, they said that not all of it was public, so I didn't want to put out any of the direct information of what they said, but more or less there's not lodging over there, and that they are affiliated with it, but it's not whatever. But it's not like they're moving the whole location. So like there's some stuff that's going on over there. Just watch it happen. Those guys are working hard. I see them every day. Every time I'm going to work, I see them. They're out there way early in the morning working on it, and it's coming up quick.
Yeah, sorry about the wind and the wind chimes real quick, guys. We decided it was a nice enough day to sit out on the patio and getting that cool little breeze. I got the sun starting to beam on my back, so it's warming up a little bit. So I'm very welcoming to the wind right now.
It's so breezy out here and nice though. Like, if you want to bring a group of people and just come have a drink here at Audra's Copper Coo.
Patios.
Copper Coo.
Copper Coo.
Coo is cow. Like, they're like with the
Scottish.
Highland cows and stuff. Yeah, they say coo. Yeah. And then she was explaining that to me. I was like,
we're gonna have to have her say it tomorrow because it's really kind of entertaining how she says it.
Yeah, she can promote her own business because she's a wizard. She's so good. Like, it doesn't even need promoting.
I'm gonna promote this tea though, because this tea is.
If you know where it's at, you know how good it is. So it's over here on Clark Street.
Definitely a hidden gem.
It's like 200 something Clark Street. You can't miss it. It's got flags and everything outside. And again, please come down here. Even if you stop in just to take a look around. Wave, say hi, or whatever it may be. It's just such a cool little gem in our town, and I don't think it gets enough notice because it is so far removed from like the business district and stuff like that. But
I don't know, it's crazy how there's more tourists that come here than locals.
She says she doesn't even see locals as much as she sees anyone else. So come on, guys, we're not supporting local. What is this? No.
What are we doing?
What are we doing? Yeah, speaking of shout out to local stuff, I heard the bakery is actually doing breakfast items and things like that down there. So
I think I've probably been doing it.
We're gonna have to
try it out.
We're gonna have to get in over there. Something coming up on the pod is we're gonna start doing like locally owned businesses and like the experience, the customer experience. So we'll go in with the business owner, and we'll like we'll do like a kind of like a live stream or like a little video, us being able to like what it's like to come into the place, and we'll do a little showcasing, and then we'll order and like what that's like, and then we'll sit down and enjoy the meal, and maybe we'll talk with the owner and be able to have like a little bit of like a this is about the business, and this is what we're doing, what we did, and what we're going to do, and have a cool little experience like that, and kind of show off what we got here going on in Thermopolis, because beyond popular belief, it's not just a Star Plunge. Did you know we have more here than the Star Plunge?
And we're back on the stock.
I want to tell everybody, because everybody needs to understand, the Star Plunge is not all we have. There's so much more to offer.
Well, and
we had a figure 8 race.
We had
How great was that?
That was awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we just need to.
I went to the TP yesterday, Mother's Day. She wanted to go and relax in the hot tub, and I was like, let's go.
See,
and it was fun.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the Star's a blast. I love the Star.
Sure.
But when I want to go swimming and need the quiet time, I like the TP for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
I like being able to just kind of relax and, like, just hang out.
Yeah, they got a slide, they got a basketball hoop, they got some stuff. You can bring some toys.
Yeah, I mean, the Stars is something that I take my family to and just kind of.
Right. They had a lot of the touristy stuff, right?
Yeah.
But
I mean, shout out to the TP as well. I mean, you guys are still kicking. You guys are doing great.
Yeah, they're great over there.
Yeah,
it has a lot of that hometown vibe when you come in, and like it's kind of quiet. There's not like hustle and bustle of all kinds of people running everywhere and someone's kids crying. Like when you get really high touristy places, it's like take care of your stuff, people. But there, it just always has like a quiet element to it. It feels like, which is nice. But then the kids get to play in the water and they're plenty loud. But the way that teepee's shaped, right, the dome is like the sound isn't so echoey because it's so much space for that sound to kind of go into. It's really nice. So yeah, shout out to them.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool to hit up some putt golf. That's in the season.
Yeah, the Dairyland has the putt. I really want to do that because I like putt, but I don't like being hot. So I'll find like a somewhat cool day to do it.
It's breezy out. It's cool out.
Well, I gotta go to work today, unfortunately, because my boss makes me work.
Yeah, so I don't have to.
Screw that guy.
That guy.
That guy.
I know. I have some cool stuff I wanted to do like this week as far as projects on the house. It's coming spring. So, do you do any type of spring cleaning, any type of like, before stuff like when the weather starts getting good?
Not really.
Putting out the lawn chairs, none of that?
No.
I had some stuff. I had to clean up like the yard and everything like that. We have like our yard is just weeds and it's growing and it's crazy and like it is apocalyptic weeds in there. Like, it looks really cool when they first start growing. It's really green, really jungly vibe, and then they just turn into
gets worse.
Disgusting plants that drive my allergies nuts.
Right.
And I gotta like salt the earth and get rid of all that stuff. We don't have grass. I don't think there is a blade of grass in my entire yard in my house. It's all just like these weeds. Or maybe the front yard. I'll give the credit to the front yard maybe. But man, and I'm not a big guru landscaper, so plus I don't make that kind of money. Nobody makes that kind of money. No.
Well,
yeah, nobody.
We don't.
Someone does because landscapers exist. We have some really good ones in town and stuff. They work really hard. All the time you hear a lawnmower going somewhere.
Yeah, you have a whole bunch of people I see going around town and helping out the community and stuff. Like I see Matt Hurley all the time. Shout out to you, Matt. Love you, buddy. I see him commenting all the time when somebody's like, I need somebody to come mow my lawn. And he's like, I got you. Like, mind you, this guy, he's kind of been through it. Like, he's an amputee, and he's kicking it like nothing.
Yeah.
He's still just doing his thing.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's good.
So he's pretty cool dude.
Man,
I like that guy.
I always like that kind of stuff changes your life so much, and you don't think about it. I have like really bad shoulder problems, and I probably should go over to the right rehab and be like, hey, help me out here. Or a chiropractor. We have a local chiropractor.
Maybe a doctor. We have those in town.
Oh yeah, the doctor. Oh, no.
There's a dog.
Heyo. Yeah, I have such bad shoulder pain. I stretched my shoulder the other day. I was like, I haven't been having like shoulder pain in a minute. I'm gonna stretch my shoulder. Started doing some stretches, and then shortly after that, I couldn't move my arm. The pain was so bad in my shoulders.
That's your own fault.
It subsided down, and then I tossed something at work, like just like an underhand toss, and that motion of me just tossing that caused my shoulder to just erupt in pain. And I don't know. Doctors or something. Doctors are expensive. I mean,
yeah.
I don't make that kind of money,
Not Can we talk about something that's extremely expensive though? Is the dentist.
The dentist.
The dentist is nuts, man.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. supposed to have insurance and stuff, but not everybody can afford insurance, man. And so when you gotta go get a tooth pulled or whatever, and they're like, okay, that's $400, you're like, what?
Can I make payments?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you take?
Some people don't do the payments, and they want the money up front.
Yeah, and it's not
always an easy. Yeah. I mean, no hit at
they gotta
Dennis,
make their money, and
exactly.
Like,
you still gotta make a living. Yeah. People don't pay. I understand.
People are paying on their student loans right now. Have you seen all that stuff?
Yeah.
TikTok and everything like that.
Yeah, I personal opinion, don't come for me. My own hot take. I didn't think the whole forgiving student loans thing was a good idea. First off, mainly because we have people who are suffering in medical debt right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, but to me, medical is a little bit more important than student. You purposefully put yourself through school. No one forced you to do that. Whereas these people who are getting freaking cancer,
true,
they didn't help that. What if, yes, of course, if you're a smoker and you got cancer, then yes, it's a little bit on you. And
yeah,
but somebody who was one day perfectly healthy and then all of a sudden they're like, I'm sorry, but you have breast cancer. And now they're hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt.
Yeah, what the heck?
And to me, that just seems more important of a forgiveness than your student loans.
Yeah, I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
I always think different, they're two different entities. But if you're gonna forgive one, maybe medical is probably the one to be forgiving. But are we, this forgiving, doesn't that come with a lot of context of the taxpayers technically are paying that? If the government's gonna pay it, then it's and I don't want to pay for your choice
exactly
of smoking until you got cancer. Or,
no, I agree.
I don't necessarily want to pay for someone's poor health issues. But sometimes I think that medical, and this is a lot of personal belief or opinion. So this isn't this is probably more the opinionated part of the podcast today.
Yeah.
So that way I want to make sure people understand this isn't just this is what I feel or what I'm thinking about. But so medical problems that people have, sometimes it just that you have. From whatever it is, your upbringing, you didn't know it. All of a sudden now you have breast cancer, right? Mm-hmm. It's not like you plan on getting breast cancer or you made any actions to acquire breast cancer on purpose, right? Or anything like that. So then, then you have a bunch of medical debt that you're trying to work through, and there's a lot of foundations to help, but is it really actually cleaning the bill for you?
Right.
No, right? And so then, even as a small community here, if something medical happens, then it's we kind of have to rely on each other to be able to help some people through those times, right? Or oftentimes there's a benefits dinner, or there's something going on to be able to help people through that, because there's not a lot of channels to be able to help people through medical debt. And then when it comes to student loans, ideally, right, you try to pay at least above the minimum, because the minimum is clearly just the interest, right? So that way you don't occur anymore. If you take $10,000, and these are just numbers, $10,000 out in student loans, and you're paying only the minimum payment of $20 a month, then you're going to have the same amount of loans to pay 5 years from now.
Right.
But if you had paid something on that, and granted, it could be hard, but you paid something on that, it'll be at least chipped away at, and eventually you'll be able to do it.
Right.
So, it depends on, your reaction set, but like you said, didn't people that take out student loans, you kind of signed the paperwork for that, right?
Exactly.
You took out the FAFSA, you took out the...
Right, exactly. It's just so my family, my great-grandmother died of colon cancer, so that kind of runs in my family.
Wow.
So, if my great-grandma, all that medical debt and stuff, I'm sure she was probably in.
Yeah.
Granted, she died when I was 4, so I was very, very young. It's just, to me, colon cancer is one of those things that you can't help.
Yeah.
She didn't sit there and smoke for 25 years and get butt cancer. You know what I mean? But so that's kind of what I mean so much is with the medical is you kind of pick and choose look at their history. So somebody with lung cancer, were they a smoker? Somebody who got cancer from radiation, what did they do for work? I'm not saying that they all deserve cancer. I'm not saying they don't deserve the help. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's just if you're going to do any sort of forgiveness for it, maybe look into the past of what they did a little bit to see how could they have help prevented this in sort of a way. And I know some people are probably going to come for me for that, but to me, that's just a personal opinion. It's a hot take. Like, I just think that student loans are not something that should be forgiven. My tax dollars shouldn't go to that because that is something that you did for yourself.
So here's a take on the student loan thing that I kind of heard, and like, you know, take what you want from it. But so when we were in school, you know, I was way back in my day, but also like I'm pretty sure in your days in high school and stuff, we were pushed to go to college because the fields in which college provides for work are important, right? Like we need doctors, we need lawyers, we need engineers,
right? But not only that, it was like, you know, when I was in school, there was a lot of teachers that pushed, well, you're not going to do anything in your life if you're not going to college. Like, that's not fair. Not everybody is made for college.
Right. So, you know, like, so hear me out on that. So, like, we were told and push college. College is the way. You want a real job. You want to make money. You want to go somewhere in life. College, right? Like, that's the general sentiment. So, we were pushed to go to college. So then, a lot of us did, right? I say us, but I mean, I went military route. But, so a lot of us in school were pushed to go to college. We all went to college. We took on these loans because, well, we need to, like, I aspire to be, give me something, an engineer. I aspire to be an engineer to work on bridges because we need more people in that field, right? So I go to college and I accrue this debt to be able to get the job that they told me they needed. I'd make a bunch of money, so I'm looking forward to that. And then now I need to pay my loans and stuff back. But, like, we were pushed to be in that generation, and now we have all this debt, which, you know, you can argue that some of the student loans were predatory or that kind of stuff, that they really just, you know, take a lot. I was going to say stick it to you, you know, like they kind of stick it to you with that. So like, maybe it's not necessarily all of the students' fault, because we were all kind of shoved to go into college, right? And then you see, like, I'm gonna try setting this down without making too much sound in the mic. So we have all these people with carrying all this debt because we needed all these fields, and some of these fields are really whack and they probably shouldn't exist, right? Like, what do you do with a degree in philosophy that you took $10,000 out in loans for, right? So, but like, now they're in these fields that were pushed, and if we stop going to college, which I think that's kind of the sentiment, is like now no one wants to go to college. Because you know, like, you're just going to put yourself in debt, and then you're not going to be taken care of it because the jobs you're looking for don't exist anymore. Well, once that phases out, what do? We don't have the lawyers, the doctors, the engineers, the STEM fields. We don't have all this anymore because we stopped the growth pipeline.
Yeah, and I'm not saying don't go to college. That's not what I'm saying by any means, because I think college can be a good thing for, you know, those that actually want to do it. You know, I know some people that went to college, even if it's just to get a basic degree, you know, like, good for you for making that effort. Like, I'm really proud of you, even if it is a little later in life. Like, you still did it. Good job.
You have to go to college with a purpose, though, right? Like,
some people just want to go to get, like, a bachelor's or something like that.
Right.
So, at that point, you can just go if you want, I guess. But a lot of people,
can you complain about your student loan debt after you just went to have fun?
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying, though. Is like, so I mean, I get your point. You know, a lot of kids kind of just felt peer pressured a little bit by it, and but at the same time, it was still their decision in the end.
It's true. But I think that the loans and stuff were structured in ways that, like, were predatory in the form that, like, they knew they were charging these kids a rate that they would never be able to truly pay back, right? So, like, you know, the bridge engineer, back to that guy, right? So now, like, I got the job. He said I was going to make $50 an hour working this job, or make $100K a year doing this job. And then I'm having to do a side gig while I'm trying to find an engineer job, but you're charging me on my interest on my student loans as if I have this bridge job that doesn't exist for me, right?
You know, and it's crazy the way the student loans work, because I think it was my aunt. Don't quote me; I could be very wrong on this, but I think it was my aunt. Like, she went to college because she wanted to be a PE teacher, and something happened that didn't go through, which is none of my business, whatever. But so she still had some of those loans to pay off, and the IRS was like, well, I'm going to take every cent of your tax return. You're not getting anything from that.
Man.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess it wasn't the IRS, but the loan people were saying, we're going to take all of your tax return.
Right.
And I mean, like, that's wild to me. Medical doesn't even do that. Why is it so?
It's because they have it in the paperwork, right? They're gonna get their.
I know,
but
it's just crazy to me. Is like, if your medical doesn't even come at you like that, something that's a little bit more important to your life, medically. I don't know. That's just something that I don't understand, I guess.
Yeah, medical is like, well, I can't. With a broken leg, I can't go.
Right.
I can't go to my job and be a construction worker.
And I broke my ankle, and I was out for almost 5 months. Like,
yeah, you can't go to do your job. So then you have debt now from your ankle, but yet you couldn't even work.
Right.
So you miss out on being able to make money to pay for the ankle that is broken.
Yeah, and then I ended up having to have a second surgery, so then I was out for another couple of weeks.
Yeah.
A year later, and
that's a whole racket, right? Because like, had you had insurance, which means had you been already paying hundreds of dollars a month in insurance, then maybe could have had that covered up to a deductible, of course.
Yeah, the second surgery I had insurance, so that wasn't as high. But when I broke my ankle, I didn't have insurance, and so I had. The night that I went to the ER for them to set it and wrap it, all the doctor's visits, the main surgery for putting plates and screws in there.
Wow.
Because of all of that, I'm like $55,000, $60,000 in debt.
Yeah.
Because you don't have insurance, and you break your ankle, it's something you can't help. Like, let me just break my ankle on purpose.
Exactly.
Like, absolutely not. So it's
like that's like the double end of the racket, right? It's like, you're gonna pay me in case you break your ankle.
right.
And then you're going to pay me when you break your ankle. And like, you're either way, you're getting, you're paying all this
double
money.
whammy now.
Yeah. It's like, what, so in high school I should take a job to start paying for my college already? Not knowing what degree I'm even in?
Yeah,
but
I mean, I see people on Facebook who are like, should have bought a house in the second grade, like.
Should have bought a house in the second grade. Yeah, with the way the rates are and everything right now. Yeah.
Okay, I just have to say something real quick to change the subject for half a second. Sitting on bleachers for 4 hours, my butt hurts a little bit. Like, the bones, like, even sitting right here, I'm like, this is not, I mean, it's comfortable, don't get me wrong. But after sitting on bleachers,
that's why they have the bleacher chairs and stuff,
I need to buy one of those.
Yeah, upgrade.
Something. But
If you're gonna be an avid, figure 8 racer watcher.
Yeah, this is rough.
Get yourself with the koozie and everything, and then like.
Yeah.
They have.
So
like,
if I stand up,
seats.
I'm sorry. I just have to.
They might have chilled seats nowadays too, but they have heated seats.
I don't care about heated seats.
If people are doing hockey, you need a heated seat. It is cold.
I'm not really a hockey watcher though. But
I've watched some junior hockey. It's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. So I'm very kind of peculiar on my sports. So baseball will always have a place in my heart because when my mom, Sean and I lived in Arizona, my mom would always take us to spring games. Mm-hmm. So the Diamondbacks, shout out Arizona.
Wait a minute. This is Thermopolis. No.
Sorry. So we would always go to spring games in Phoenix and watch them play, and it was always such a blast. So they'll always have a place in my heart for it. But to me, baseball, like, I have to watch it in person. I can't do it on TV. It's just boring to me on TV.
Yeah.
Football, I will scream at my TV. It is so much fun. I really want to go to a game one of these days. That is my goal, is to get to a football game. Go Chiefs.
Yeah, we're trying to set you up with a date to go all the way to Kansas City. That would have been sweet to get you there. But maybe next year. Maybe you'll hit the lotto. And
you gotta play to win, yeah. You don't pay me the money to play.
I don't pay you lotto money.
No, you sure don't.
That's the sentiment. I love that. It's always like it was another employee, another coworker, and they had a Red Bull. I'm like, how do you get a Red Bull every day? How do you do that? I don't pay you Red Bull every day kind of money. Like, what are you doing? I know when I hired you, it wasn't that much money.
Right.
Red Bull every day money.
Red Bull every day.
And they're like, oh, I got a friend that hooks me up and stuff. So I'm like, all right, I gotta get me one of them friends. I gotta get a Red Bull every day friend. Yeah. Someone's making money.
Speaking of, my sister texted me and she's like, can you bring me a Red Bull when you're done? I was like, yeah, I got you.
Or Copper Coup when you're done. I mean, like, I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's true.
That was good.
It's fun.
So, yeah, just to wrap up, like, I know we tangented, but to wrap up, like, the medical debt stuff and versus student loan debt, like, truthfully, like, none of it should really be having to be paid by the taxpayers, right? Like, isn't that, like, kind of the general sentiment? Like, everybody should be. Now, maybe with all this crazy funding going to all these weird places, you know, this is, like, world politics stuff, but, like, you know, we're spending millions of dollars on weird program number XYZ, right? So, like, maybe if some of that was just clearing off, like, going toward some of these loans, maybe they're not allowed to do interest on these loans or something like that, to where people could, as long as you're making payments, the interest stops maybe. So then, like, it's like you give us like a reward system, like, all right, we will freeze all it as long as you're making a current payment of some odd, we will stop all interest occurring. That would be kind of cool. I'm not here to figure out the problem,
which is nuts though, because like when you get the loan, the first, like, I don't know, probably 10 payments or so is all going to interest. Like, it's not even going to the loan itself. It's all just interest.
Just like a house loan.
Yeah.
I pay off just a little extra on the principal every time. Every payment I make for the house. So that way I can try to chip away at the major bill, right? And they'll save me in the end, you know, maybe a couple years off of my loan by doing that. So, like, but I just, like, man, the medical, it's like a huge thing right now, blowing up all over social media about, like, the student loan stuff. And people have, like, really weird, like, inflammatory takes on all this stuff. Like, you told us to go to the school, and you told us to do this, and then now you're not going to support us, but, like, you kind of chose the field in which you worked. Like, no one, if you have a job guarantee and someone pulled that out from underneath you,
then I can understand the time.
Then there's some heat there, but like, oh, I got my degree in clown makeup, and and now there's no clowns. Everyone's scared of clowns.
So funny.
You know, you need to pay for this. You told me to be a clown makeup artist. No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
So, you know, and I know this is the voice of Thermopolis, but we're allowed to tangent every once in a while. Cut us some slack here. At one point in my life, and, you know, I think this is probably why I never really went to college, because at one point in my life, I wanted to be, what did I do? I wanted to go for criminal, what is that called? Like criminal justice?
CSI? Oh,
criminal justice. Just criminal justice. I wanted to go for that, because I thought that would be cool. I'm really into, like, true crime stuff.
Yeah.
Because one of the podcasts that I really listen to that I like, there's a couple, and if they ever hear this, I love you guys, like, you're awesome. So one of them is
Shout it out.
Murder with My Husband.
Oh.
So the husband is not a fan of true crime, so his reactions to the stories his wife tells is funny. Like, it'll be like, oh, this story took place in the 1960s, and he's like, where's the cameras? It's like, there was no cameras, it didn't exist.
Right.
Figured out.
That's cool. Right.
And then another one, because I'm also a paranormal fan, is called And That's Why We Drink. And so they actually are the ones that kind of wanted me getting into podcasting.
Yeah.
So they do a segment. So it's like a 2-hour episode. So the first, like, hour is paranormal stories. Yeah. And which is very scary by yourself, by the way, at night when you're working alone. Gets you start hearing things and you're not actually hearing things.
Gets you all heebie-jeebie.
Yeah. And then the last half is true crime. So it's a lot of fun.
So you were saying about the podcast and how they related to the debts and stuff like that? Were you
tangents and stuff like that? Yeah, like they're talking about how they're like, yeah, just being in debt, and you know, it's crazy. Everybody's in debt. Like,
everybody's in debt for something, right?
Yeah.
It seems like these days, and we're all trying to get out of that mess. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But there's hope. There's things to turn around. Yeah. You know, it looks like the economy is it's starting to take a turn for the better.
Hopefully.
So, you know, that's helpful. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up this summer here in Thermopolis. Like, this summer is going to be the biggest summer for Thermopolis in a long time. Mm-hmm. Pre-COVID even. Yeah. We're talking, it's going to be the Chase Rice concert, right?
Yeah, so you'll have the PRCA in June.
PRCA Rodeo.
And then you'll have the Discovery Days, and Chase Rice will be that night. Mm-hmm. And then
we have the Demolition Derby brought to by the Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah. I can't remember if that's like August or September. I think it's August.
It's August, before school starts.
Yeah. So
Might be
we have
July.
those 3 major events.
Yeah.
So far, I mean that's.
And those are like the super big events, but there is a whole lot more speckled out between
Right.
all that stuff. Like, every week, that's why we're going to start going over this in the week, is every week there's something going on that's kind of interesting. Like this wax museum thing is actually going to be really cool. To bring your pocket change, bring a couple dollar bills, vote for the ones that you think you enjoyed the best.
Right.
It'd be cool to get a lot of people that don't have like a kid in the race, right? Because then like you get to actually kind of be the judge, like a true judge, and just judge on how well they did and like your favorite ones in general. So it'd be really cool to see a lot of people turn out for that. That's, you said Thursday?
Yeah.
Thursday. So
again, we don't have a time. You're going to have to contact the school district for that, or go onto their website.
So that's something cool that's happening this week, right?
Yeah,
Just this week, right?
Thursday,
We
yeah.
just had the figure 8 racing. If your week wasn't just crazy enough in the last
Yeah.
7, we're going to have Thursday be something. And I'm sure this weekend is going to be fun. We just had the track meets coming this last weekend, too. Which
Yeah,
is
shout out
crazy.
to all you guys. So shout out to Briar Leho, man. That girl can run.
Right on.
She beat Becky Burrows' record, and she set it in 2014.
Wow.
Yeah, so there was a video that I watched of Briar, and she was way ahead of everybody else in the 400. Like,
Right.
she killed it. So shout out, Briar. Love you, kid.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Gave it all you had.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
she
amazing.
killed it.
We were talking about that. My son does the throwing, so he does discus and shot, and we were talking about how like this was set for regionals. So however good he did in this would be if it took him to regionals or not. And
Right.
we were talking about the strategy, and I'm like, you know what though, just throw like this is the last throw of the season. Like you're not gonna throw anymore after this, so put everything you have into this throw. So you don't feel walking away that you did less than you could. It doesn't have to be the throw, but for any athlete, any challenger,
Right.
that if you treat every single event like it's your last one you're going to do, and you put your heart into it, then you can walk away being like, well, I left nothing on the table.
Right.
I went as hard as I could, and that was the outcome, and that I couldn't do better than that.
Right.
But if you walk away being like, I should have run a little faster, I probably could have beat her, or I probably could have, thrown a little further and
But
gotten
don't
to
beat
regionals,
yourself
like,
up at it, like you did the best that you could, and shout out to all you kids who was a part of that track meet. Like, big shout out to you guys, because I know you guys are putting in all the effort that you can for this, and I never did track. I don't run. That's how I broke my ankle, to be honest.
I tried running once, it was terrible.
It was the worst thing in my life. No, just kidding. But no, really shout out to you guys for that. That was really awesome.
It was cool.
It was, yeah. So
Like
kudos.
everyone was trying. Everyone was
Yeah.
putting what they had into it.
And it was not a very cool weekend. It was hot
80
this weekend,
degrees.
so
And
I'm sure
sunny.
you guys were dying. I was
Yeah.
dying, and I wasn't outside very often. So yeah,
We've
kudos to you guys.
had a few tracks where meets where it rained. So it's good that it didn't rain on them this
Yeah.
time. And we just had great weather for running,
See-
great weather for everything.
Personally, I think I'd like to run a little bit in the rain, just cools you off a little bit.
Maybe, but the traction and like
Yeah,
it's
well,
more
that's fair.
stimulation when you're trying to focus on that. So
That's true, especially for
Yeah.
those outdoor classes.
but
or
shout out
something.
to all those kids. They work hard. There's plenty of them going to regionals. There's plenty of them going to be up on state, and that's from our town, from Thermopolis,
Yep.
Wyoming. So please support them. Give them everything you got as far as support. If it's just showing up and watching an event or two, or sharing it on Facebook. Something. You can do plenty of things to support this. That's not throwing money at it,
Right.
which can be hard from people right now. But you have time. You have a click. You have a like. You have a share.
Yeah,
And so-
and my cousin Jesselyn, big shout out to you too. I know that you do track as well. I'm sorry that I didn't really pay much attention to what you do. I just see what your mom posts, and I'm so sorry. I love you, kid, and I'm sure you did great this weekend. So big shout out to you, Jess. Love you.
Yeah, we have a lot of people. A lot of these kids are graduating. This
Yeah.
is their last track meet for graduation, right?
Well, I think this track meet was only for middle school, wasn't it?
We had high school Friday, middle school Saturday. And so it was actually a double. So this was the last track meet for our middle schoolers, for as I understand. And then the high schoolers, this was to go to regionals. So if you didn't make the mark, you're not going to regionals. But you might go to support the team, but you're not throwing, you're not running, you're not...
Right, you're not jumping, you're not doing the things.
You're not doing the things. So this could have been, for a lot of our seniors, the last time they did their events before they're in the real world. And maybe it's college track, I don't know. Or maybe that track scholarship will help with the debt.
When I went to get some shaved ice at the figure eight racing, and I was asking Wakely and Miley how you guys. I was like, "How's it going?" And they're like, "Oh, we're so busy. And she's like, "We've been here since 3." So I had to give Wakely a hard time. And I was like, "Oh no, you had to work."
Oh no.
And they're like, "We're not used to this." And I was like, "You guys are about to graduate. You guys got to figure it out."
This is the real, Work is the new school. Right?
Yeah. But of course, I'm so excited to watch her walk, man.
Mm-hmm.
So again, big shout out to you seniors. Good job.
I think we won't go on this episode because I think this one's already kind of like running long. We've discussed some pretty big topics, but I want to bring in a discussion about generational wealth and how us as parents or as uncles and aunts and us as adjacent family members and things like that, or our loved ones, like how we could start now to build something for our high school kid right now, our middle school kid right now, and get the snowball moving of generational wealth. Right. So I want to cover that at some point. I think maybe
next week we could.
Yeah, maybe next week I'll bring in some information, and maybe I can reach out to some more, maybe some financial people, and maybe they're willing to talk about it. So if you're out there and you're listening to this pod, or somebody that that does handle the financial stuff, or wants to be able to talk about that kind of stuff, or even would be willing to talk with me. If you could send this to them or ping them, or something like that, that would help out a lot. I'll have to, maybe I'll ask Grok AI and see hey, yo.
He loves that AI thing.
It's nifty tools to use, but I want to bring up or pull together some information about that, because I think that we don't think about it a lot when we're in our 20s and 30s, that our kids, that are, elementary school, that we could be doing something now to be able to help them in the future, and maybe get out of the cycle of medical debt, school debt, then these compounding things that we keep doing, and it'd be a lot of cool information for people. So
for real.
So pay look for that coming. Maybe next week I'll put together a segment for that. And then Audra tomorrow, Copper Coup, Discovery Days, Chase Rice. It's all happening tomorrow. We're gonna have a big long interview with her, as long as I can get with her. She's so busy that it's like trying to catch a squirrel with your bare hands. So once I finally got a hold of her, I was like, we're doing it. And then she was like, next week. I was like, all right, I get it. So tomorrow. That is, I don't know what. I don't have my watch, but what is tomorrow?
Tomorrow the 13th.
The 13th. All right. So 13th, we're going to be sitting down with Audra at the Copper Coup, and be able to do the interview for that. So, if you guys wanted to stop by and say hi, even, you go ahead, come on in. I think it'll be before noon. You can come say hi. Try not to interrupt any of the filming and stuff if you could, but we're pretty casual here, so we'll wave, we'll say hi, and everything like that. But it would be cool to see you guys down here.
Right.
We got the Wax Museum Thursday. What else we have?
Middle school band concert
coming up. There's another interview we were gonna do. I got reached out by Two Basins Sports. I think it's Sports Network of some sort. It's on my phone, but again, I'm using my phone to record. So, but they reached out to me today. They want to do They want to do an interview. They saw the rec district with Brian, and they were like, "Hey, that was great. You guys had a lot of fun. We want in." So
let's do it.
We'll set them up. We'll put them on the schedule, and we'll see what they have to offer and what they're doing. So
for sure, let's get it done.
That's all that's coming up, guys. Thank you guys for watching. It's been long enough. It's been a Monday for sure. And we're always growing. We're always improving. This is for you, the community, to get that information.
Also, real quick, if there's a topic that you guys want to discuss or you want us to discuss and go over, feel free to send a message to Aaron, myself, or the Voice of Thermopolis Facebook page. You can message us on there as well.
Yeah.
So if there's anything that you would like for us to go over,
we read all the comments on the YouTube. I read all the comments on Spotify. I read all the comments on Facebook.
Yeah, give us a rate, share it. You guys help us out.
Yeah, I love all you guys that are liking the pages and the posts and stuff. Share it, please. Share it so that other people can see it. It really helps us a lot. It'll help the community, because the more people that hear about this community, the better off we're all going to be, right? This is for the community. This is for you guys. And we're trying to talk about the things that matter to you. Right. So we don't know what matters to you unless people are sounding off and talking about it.
And remember, we are trying to remain as unbiased as possible. So try to keep the topic to where we can do that. We don't really want to have to go on a tangent about whether, right or wrong, facts, no facts, stuff like that. So we just want to try and keep it as civil and respectful to everybody involved. Right. As possible.
We try to cover the factual stuff about it, regardless of what opinions are. So that's important to us. So
absolutely.
This has been Aaron with Voice of Thermopolis Podcast.
Taylor,
and thank you guys. It was a good one.